A couple of weeks ago, Tesla Hacker Green unlocked the Autopilot Augmented Vision, as well as the developer settings screen with hundreds of toggles and options, which shows how advanced and complex the Autopilot software really is, and gives us a glimpse of what's next to come. From these videos, we can also confirm that Tesla is using map data to assist Autopilot decision making. So, let's dive into it. You're watching On Forward. These videos from the control panel are really impressive. There are more settings than I've imagined, and if we analyze them closely, we can extract some interesting information from them. Some of these settings are from features that still aren't available in public versions of Autopilot, like for example, next-gen lane changes and city streets behavior. I'm curious of what next-gen lane changes will be about, as I have no clue really. Others are just features that aim to mimic the behavior of drivers in certain places, like for example, California Stop and California Boost. I must admit that I had to check it, but a California Stop is when a driver rolls through a stop sign without fully getting to stop the vehicle. I'm not sure what California Boost means though. Do you have any ideas? While the California Stop isn't really recommendable, as it is illegal and could get you in trouble, these kinds of features and others like Europe Enable Roundabout Control could be enabled or disabled depending on the region where the car is currently driving on, to further comply with the driving norms and manners of the area. This is very valuable because if it is expanded to different locations, the car could adapt its driving profile to match any place. This is a much better solution than a static autopilot software that behaves exactly the same no matter where it is. Finally, we've seen buttons that read Disable Map Stops, which resurface the questions of whether Tesla needs maps for full self-driving or not, but more on that later. The other interesting insight Tesla Hacker Green gave us is some enhanced autopilot visualizations, which allow us to discover what Autopilot is seeing at a much deeper level than what the cars currently show to drivers. Here I compare both briefly so you can spot all the differences. It is clear, at least to me, that the normal view is much cleaner and pleasant to look at for everyday driving, as there is no need to have that much information on the screen, and it would probably be very distracting to be honest. This video also shows a tree on the right, which at first sight might be confusing, but seems to be a route planner containing all the possible paths the car can take. Another thing that seems to be helping with decision making, according to this footage, is map data, especially on intersections. On the left side of the screen, very visible, there is a title that reads Current Traffic Control and displays data when nearing a stoplight or intersection. The source of the data displayed is also visible, and it varies between map, sometimes it says only vision, and every so often it says both map and vision. So, what's happening here? I must admit that at first I was a little disappointed by this. We've heard Elon mock HD Maps' approach to full self-driving 100 times already. But there's a catch. He was talking about precision maps, which are not even close to what Tesla is using here. Let me explain. Precision maps are basically highly detailed 3D models of the environment, so detailed in fact that they might include information like the height of a curve, the width of an intersection, and the exact location of a traffic light or stop sign. To give you an example, this is the exact approach Waymo is taking, where these highly detailed maps are used by the car to navigate almost blindly, because they are not making decisions based in the real-life environment, but in a map made of that place sometime in the past. These highly detailed maps have to be maintained all the time, as the streets and scenery change from time to time. On the other side, the maps Tesla is using are from OpenStreetMap.com, and have information like intersections, traffic control devices, lanes, stop lines, and direction of travel, which has nothing to do with having a 3D model of every street the car is going to traverse. This information is there to assist the car, providing it with data about what the speed limits are and where the next intersection should be. Basically, give the car some context. Teslas are still designed to be able to drive in roads that aren't mapped, as they have the technology to recognize all the road elements. This approach seems much more viable as the quantity of information the car receives from the map is substantially lower and just provides context, while the autopilot system is still responsible for performing the navigation and sensing of the environment. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my next videos. Going back to the developer settings, there is one last thing we can also extract from it, and it is very interesting. Although Elon mentioned it a couple of times, there has always been some sort of mystery surrounding the autopilot code and how it works. Some folks really think that the autopilot software is just a giant neural network doing all the work, like some sort of black box which no one really understands completely. And that couldn't be further from the truth. All the driving behavior and decision making is still being handled by traditional C++ code, while the neural networks are used only in labeling video feed and identifying objects, ergo the perception of the car. This is confirmed by all the buttons, toggles and sliders the developer settings screen has, as it shows that the software team is in control of each and every aspect of the self-driving software. The Tesla software team seems to be very confident that the autopilot system is becoming increasingly capable of full self-driving on most regular scenarios. That's why Elon has confirmed that Tesla will offer its full self-driving feature as a subscription in early 2021. Although we know timing and deadlines are not Elon's strong suits, all the footage from the full self-driving beta is convincing enough for me to be sure that significant progress is being made. Nevertheless, we still don't know if they will be able to meet their deadlines. But as I said, all this insight and footage showed us for the first time at a deeper level how Tesla is approaching full self-driving, and many other details about it. So, that reassures my conviction that Tesla is leading and will lead autonomous driving for the years to come. Thank you for watching all the way through. Here are 2 more videos that you may like. See you soon.